Simultaneously, it looks like we're good to go. Hey everybody, this is me, Tim Musig, the CEO here at JB Prints. Welcome back to another edition of What's New at JB Prints. I want to thank you all for tuning in and being such awesome and gracious viewers. If anyone is curious about last week's blunder with my series of filtered sunglasses from my cameraman, he still is gainfully employed here at JB Prints. It was an accident. Everybody got a good laugh out of it, especially him, and how he didn't collapse in tears during the actual video because I had no idea what was going on is a mystery to me. But that's enough about our shenanigans and more about what we're here to talk about today, and that is some disposable wear. JB Prints has been importing what I like to refer to as high-end disposables since the early 2000s. We recognized a need for caterers, hotels, sometimes restaurants that are out there needing to have something that was a little bit more upscale than the normal or the typical of what you had seen in a lot of takeout type situations. So we began to work with a company called Comatech. We continue to work with them till today, and they are, in my opinion, and probably in the opinion of many, one of the more upscale boutique brands in the disposable world. So I think you can see in frame in front of me we have quite a few different things. The line is much more extensive than this, several hundred pieces if you will, primarily from Comatech and some other great providers, people like Solia, and a handful of others that we have some kind of de facto exclusivity on just based on our long-term relationships. But here is just kind of sort of a sampling of some things that are newer, kind of simpler and more straightforward. And like I had mentioned earlier, we know that in many situations, in many catered events, there are scenarios where you're off-site. You don't necessarily want to deal with glassware or china, but you still are going for a very particular look. You're not looking to kind of sort of downplay your food, if you will, or put it on a very typical kind of sort of paper plate or plastic plate or simpler looking cup. So what you see in front of me here is a fairly simple selection of things. Not necessarily super duper new in some respects, but very straightforward, lend themselves to lots of different things. And I'll just kind of sort of quickly go over them with you. So to give you some ideas, some concepts, we have this this kind of series in the front. It's in the Bode or Bode Glass series from Comatech. I think my pronunciation is all kinds of wrong with that, but it's BODEGLASS. And you'll notice that it goes in a progression of sizes. The lids in all of these are a la carte or separate from the actual plates. So you say, oh, I don't need lids, I just need plates. You don't have to worry about that. You have the options of buying things separately. But this is really, to me, one of the more practical, really nice series or lineups from the Comatech line. It's really just a straightforward, simple glass. The lids easily come on and off. They have a small impression in here. They're meant to be stacked on top of each other. These are actually two different odd sizes, but just gives you an idea of the stack. And they kind of progressively get a little bit larger. This middle size here, which I believe by their admission is probably their most popular size, has even a more specialized lid. You guys have seen this kind of thing before, maybe in some retail situations. It's basically three pieces. It's a dome, an insert, and then that goes inside the cup. It gives you the ability, sorry my fat finger's in the way, it gives you the ability to maybe have something on the bottom that's yogurt-like or custard-like, and then maybe have something with a little texture, a little crunch. Maybe you just want to have two contrasting items. And it's just really kind of sort of a nice, interesting, clean look, and I think the dome is also really cool. If you just wanted to do a simple, basic lid, they make that for that as well. I guess I should stop for a second. There's a lot of SKUs here in essence. Just these in the front represent probably 10 different SKUs. To not bog you down in all the minutia of numbers, there will be a landing page. You guys can go to our website. It's generally how we do when we do these presentations. We create an easy place for you to go and see everything kind of in one fell swoop. Here's kind of sort of the next size up. You're getting to portions that are probably a little bit bigger, maybe a small salad, maybe an appetizer size, if you will, for somebody. Maybe you want to do something for two. Maybe you want to put a pastry item in here rather than a traditional box that allows people to see some things or some other kind of layered dessert. The one next to it happens to be the same diameter, just a little bit taller, giving you more capacity. We just have some coffee beans in there so you have an idea of this, of kind of sort of what it looks like with something inside rather than it be empty or full. This is probably large enough where you could fit even a muffin or something like that inside, in addition to any of the other, maybe layered desserts or layered salads. Maybe you're a caterer who has some kind of very special dip for your crudité. Ounces. This one in hand is about 21 ounces to give you a rough idea. So it's fairly large. But again, if you're in a situation where all of them. This one here is about 15. I have some cheat sheets on all of these, but I can't guarantee I'm going to need 10 ounces here in the middle. This one I'm drawing a blank on. Sorry, I wasn't diligent enough to put my little notes on there. But again, it should kind of sort of appear in the landing page. After the 10, I'm going to guess this is kind of sort of in the 6 ounce area, and this is probably in the 5 ounce area. That's speculation. Sorry about that, folks. I should have done a better job at putting my cheat sheets in there. Nonetheless, I think you have an idea or the breadth of this kind of sort of line. What I was kind of sort of trying to touch upon earlier is that it gives you a look into something that you can not necessarily have to worry about collecting if you're doing some kind of drop-off catering service. We know a lot of you guys out there are producing maybe corporate lunches or events, and it's difficult to be in 2 places at once and go back and collect products. So maybe you want to put dressings in here. Maybe you want to use this as a glass, a simple little kind of juice glass even. Give you some other options. And that's that series there. The next series that you see is kind of, I'm going to work on this little tower here. This is not one thing. These are all separate. It actually should look, you know what we're going to do? We're going to shift some stuff over. We'll bring this into the forefront so you guys can see. So in essence, this is a series. Sorry, a little temporary rearranging here. This is a series, also again with lids. They call it the organic bowl series. It's a little bit more progressive in shape. It's a little bit more odd, unique, whimsical, if you will. Happens to be pretty cool. Comes in 3 different sizes. They all have these kind of specialized lids with these impressions on top that make it a little bit easier to stack or nest inside of each other. And that's actually, I'm stacking 3 separate sizes here, but you'd also be able to stack within the line. Just a cool thing, and again, while we're talking about it, because I think I have my right cheat sheets here, the smallest bowl is about an 8.4 ounce capacity. I don't know if you guys can see that. You know what I'm going to do? Do this on the fly here. I'll fill it for you so you can see a little bit of a contrast and kind of sort of the lines on the bottom. And that's kind of sort of that piece there. It has this very interesting slope to it. Really unique, kind of sort of progressive shape. And they all follow the same suit. And because I'm all over the place with my words today, just to go back, this one's about 8 ounces. The medium-sized one in the line is about 18.5. It jumps up pretty quickly. And then the last larger one is about 28.7 ounces. Which style would you like to see a close-up of? Anyone? All right, sorry about that, guys. I'm just going to hold it flat on my palm. You getting that, cameraman? Can you guys see that one? And that's the organic bowl. I think I have the lid on a little askew. Sorry about that. Now we can do it without the lid. If there's a situation you didn't need the lid, and that's kind of what it looks like. You notice these kind of like really soft lines here. It angles back a little bit. Something just nice and a little bit different that you don't normally see, I guess, in the disposable world. And last, excuse me, you see some more things kind of stacked up behind me. I'm going to do a similar thing again. We're going to do a little shuffling here so everybody can see. Last, we have what they refer to in their line as the Santo line or the Santo plate. You notice that they're kind of all, again, stacked up. This is the plate itself. Really, really simple, clean lines. This one happens to be made out of a plastic material. The white one you see here next to it is actually made out of a sugarcane material, so it's compostable. So there's kind of sort of a green not sort of, there's a green option here in this lineup. But it's a real simple excuse me, I'm talking about glasses all day. A really simple dish. Nice little lip here so it would hold some sauce if you wanted a plate inside of it. Tilt it up for you. A nice rim, really straightforward. Not a true black color, almost like a charcoal or a grayish tone, if you will. So it kind of maybe lends itself to some of the lighter colored foods. And then they make it in kind of sort of three different sizes: 4.7 inch, 6.2 inch, and lastly, almost more like a little bit of an app size, or maybe even a small entree size, 7.8 inch, almost an 8 inch. You can, again, separately buy these dome lids for them. There is a small flat on the top of all the domes, so they're meant to stack. This is what the Santone, the small size, I think again I said 4.7 inch, and the plastic with the dome looks like. Maybe you even want to put a small kind of dome plated dessert to go in here, rather than a box option. Here's kind of sort of the medium size one. And again, just some nice options, especially in this time of the year, the season where people are on the move, right? I mean, it's holiday time. You got family coming into town. Maybe you want to do something nicer than your average, just bucket of chicken or burgers, and you want to be able to provide your clients with an elevated experience, but even in the comforts of their own home. So this is just kind of, again, a small sample of the entire disposable realm. The prices vary, so the ranges vary here. We're getting a price question, but just to give you a quick idea, in the plastic plate per 100 pieces is $40, so 40 cents per on the plates. And then if you wanted the lids, they are $22 per 100. So it's just under $1 for a setup, about $0.75 for a setup of something like this, just to give you a range or an idea of price. Again, it leans more in the realm of the unique, not something you're going to get in your average place. We've heard from many clients that we have that they prefer this kind of a product over what's run-of-the-mill because it allows them to upcharge it a little bit more, increase the bottom line, and increase the image. Just again, go back a little bit. This is just a small sampling of kind of sort of the disposables that we've started to bring in. We have a lot more smaller cocktail type pieces. We're now starting to get in things that are, I guess, what you could refer to as more appetizer size or even grab and go friendly with lids. So we're trying to cover the whole range. We think it's an awesome time of the year for you guys to consider this and look at it, considering it's holiday time. And we know, again, people are busy and there's a lot of food on the move. We got a lot of parties going on. We know it's party time. I wish I was in a party right this moment, maybe. Awesome. Again, thank you all so very much for joining us this week. We have a lot of things going on, a lot of things coming out. We're actually at a pace that the videos can't keep up with. We're going to try very, very hard to give you guys as much information we can over the next couple of weeks. We know there's lots of gift giving going on, making the chef friends of yours smile or the chef loved ones, because we all love the people who feed us. I know I do. Thank you very much. We love you. See you again next week. Bye-bye now.